All right. Today I'm going to make a review of what we learned so far in Lightroom. Uh, Pretty much the course already covered most of the feature of Lightroom. And besides, maybe just a couple more. And I think the last one will be the brush, like the adjustment. That's the most, I can consider the most complicated one. So before I start in that one, so I want to make a review of what we learned so far. So if you have any question or something like that, you can maybe at the end of the class, you can ask, or down the road, if you have something, you can ask. So Lightroom is a little bit different from any other software because the photo is not directly download to the software and work on it. It's just a mirror of the photo. So whatever you put in there is not physically put in the software. That's why a lot of time I can feel that the most complicated is I don't know where's the photo. And I put it in the wrong area or something like that. I think that's the most difficult part. I can see most of student the beginning. As I always mention, whatever you just set up the photo, and then what we call the catalog is the folder that Lightroom work with the photo. I'm always put an additional drive. That way it won't load up the memory of the computer. So I can just, from my additional drive, I just create, you can say that I have, basically I have two catalogs. For you, you may only have one catalog and then the photograph. And photograph is all the photo that you put in, right? That's where you put all your photo. Right? I don't have the export because I put an export in another thing, and you pretty much just set up like this. Okay, so the export, because I would delete it. Once I share it, I would delete it. That's why in my hard drive, I pretty much have the catalog and then the photographs. So come to Lightroom. We call a module. The two modules that we use all the time is the develop module and then the library module. These are the two modules that we use most of the time, develop module and library module. Those are the two modules we use most of the time. When we import a photo, we go to library and then hit the button import. So let me erase it. So if I want to download a photo to my thing, I go to library, right? And then go to import. Now you come up with this one, right? What is about? And then this is the first one is where is your source? Usually like the SD card or something like that. And this one, what you want to do, like copy or add. I will copy a DNG. And this one is where you put it, right? And so let's say now I have an SD card that have the photo in there. So once you enter it, you can see that my SD card already showed up. It's automatically. When you hit it, it will show all the photos that is in my card. Right. And then the other thing is eject after import. That means after you import it, it will eject the SD card, yes, no, maybe it doesn't matter. Now, if I want to import all, these are all the photo. Now I can uncheck all of them. Now I have. Now the other thing you pay attention is like, don't import suspected duplicate. That means if you already have in a drive, you don't want to import it twice. Right? So I think some of the photo that, let's say if I want to import this photo, I just select this photo. Now, here is the one that a lot of you make a mistake. Where you put it. Now, in here, you just make sure you selected the date format, year, month, date. This is the format, right? That different type, select this one. And now you have to make sure where you put your photo. Now I know this is my external drive. I know it's my photograph. Is in my photograph. Right, this is all my photo. Once you hit this folder, it's automatically create for you. So you just hit import. So this is the most important. You have to know where you put it. Sometimes they might change, but once you put it, you just hit import. Now, a lot of the time, right, if you add to it, you can see all the things. It was like previous import. You see that it show. Right. Now there are two buttons. You can see that if you want to show where you put it in the thing, you can right mouse it and then show. Go to photo in library. Boom. Oh, that means now it's saved in here. If you want to rename it, right mouse it, rename, and then give it maybe like, okay. So now it's this date, and which. Now this is how we import the photo. So, any questions so far? Right. So make sure you put it in the right area. So now if I want to delete it, I don't want it. You can, let's say the two photo, I don't want it. I want to delete it. Right mouse, hit delete. Do I have it? Sorry, you may hit the delete key of the keyboard. Delete. It just said remove from Lightroom or delete from the disk. I always use delete from the disk. Don't hit remove because you want to 100% remove it from the drive. So hit delete from disk. So that means it's totally gone. And then you can right mouse it and remove. Now it's the remove of the folder. Right. So this is the way to import stuff. Right. So the next thing we talk about is go to develop module. Right. I think the first thing we learn is from the top. Right. We learned the white balance. Right. This is the more important than white balance. Now the white balance, like, and then you can hit the auto, but because this is JPEG, that's why they are blasting. Let's see whether I have a photo DNG, not DNG. Right. You can see that. Wait, do that. They got more choice, right? That's why people say that you shoot it in RAW, because in RAW you get more choice. Right. So the first thing, if you want to do white balance, you can use auto and see how the suggestion. Yeah, not that very good. Right. You always double click it, you will reset it. So now let's say this one, if I do it, the shot is like this. I can do auto. Now you can see the before and after, right? In the bluish, right? That is what it, if you want to change it, more blue in color, right? And then more yellowish. And it is more red, more green, right? You will know that they are diagonal. You're more blue. Sometimes you have to, put a little more reddish or something like that. So this is the white balance, simple. Now, sometimes what it is, now, this is what I call a checker. Now, how do you know is this correct, the white balance? Of course, you can say that, when I do auto, right? But there is also another thing called picker. You see this? If I pick this, you can see the bottom, 93.5, 93.7, 93.5. When these three number RGB, they are close, that means it's white. Now, if I use this one, look at the RGB is more reddish. So the reddish number is much higher, right? And then R, the green is much higher, right? So you can pick on the white color, but in photo we call 50% gray. Now you see that gray? They are the same number. So when you hit this, that means this is correct, the white balance. So now if I, in a photo like this, right? Let's see whether it cuts. If I do this, let's say you can see the 76 area, you pretty much know this is white color. Boom. Hear that? Now you have the perfect white balance. Oops. But why this is so different? But this is an exception. Right? And then I can show you. Let's see, like this one. Now, I'm going to reset it. Do I have it? Now it's more greenish, it's gonna, but if I pick on this, I know this is the white. Boom, you see the difference? This is one of the methods you use a picker to select the copyright. That's why sometimes when we shoot it, we shoot it like a reference, the white color. And when we shoot everything underneath, we can use the picker to select all this. So this is white balance. Now, maybe I go to XSL. As I mentioned, sometimes when you do it like sometimes like in the morning or in the evening, there are two different white balance, yellow and blue. So now in the yellow and blue, either way, what can I do? You cannot spread it. So most of the time, you just base on, all right, let's say I just base on this yellowish. And now you can go down to XSL in saturation. What I'm going to delete, I delete the blue. This is the time when you use XSL. I just delete the blue. If I want to delete the yellowish, I can do that. Right. This is the one that you use to eliminate, and you can also pop it up, right? For example, this one, now you can see because it's sunlight, and also because it's the shadow. Under the shadow, and then, it was because your camera, you consider, all right, is it yellowish or bluish? So he would cut down the yellow because it's the sun, it will cut down the yellow. So the shade will become more blue. You can see that when I cut down the yellow, it become more blue. If I cut down the blue, I get more yellowish. So it's either way. So you cannot do it. So you just thinking, all right, I just use this one is correct, and then go down to XSL and then minus the blue. See? Now that's the way to you use XSL. You just deduct in something. Of course, you can use it to change some of the stuff. Now, when you do the, if I want to pop up the brightness, you see this is the blue, right? You can make it darker or brighter. Right. Now, if it's a yellowish, I can use this to change the brightness of the yellow, right? That's what you use. And this is change the color of that. And this is change the brightness of that color, right? So this is HSL. So not much about that. I think this one I mentioned something like that before, but seventh feature. So no. And just regular. Just take one of the photo. But overall, yeah, okay. Oh, when I do. Now, the next thing we talk about is the after the white balance. And we can do this one. I can do, let's say I reset the whole photo. This is I reset the photo. This is how the photo looks like when I took it. So first thing I would do it just like auto. I would see what is the suggestion. Yeah, pretty good. Right. And then I just do that. All right. So I can use it in the space bar to enlarge. And then space bar. So you auto the white balance. Now you can, when they do the tone curve, now you can see the more brighter spot because the sky is so bright. You can also use auto. Boom. See the suggestion. See the difference? It pop up. It pop up the brightness. So now let me go back to it. Right. And then we'll reset it. Now, the first thing you see that it's much brighter in here, right? And you can just do the content. The other thing is highlight this section. When you do highlight, usually you'll bring out the detail. You pay attention in here, right? Highlight, usually we work, when you do highlight more, it gets darker. And then you pull up the brightness of the shadow. That's why when the Lightroom layout is the opposite. And this one is the white, that means this brighter spot. You cut down a little bit. And then the black will be this one. You just like, right. So it's pretty much when you do auto, you see that? And then you can fine tune it. You said, all right, this is a little bit too dark. I can pop up a little bit more. Right. And then you feel like it's a little bit too bright, you just like pop down. And usually just like the opposite, right? So this pretty much is like the tone curve, right? So now for this one, when I reset this one, now you said that I can do auto, boom, auto. And then I said that, oh, maybe I figured out brighter more. Simple enough. All right. So the next thing we'll learn about texture, clarity, and dehaze. Now this is the dehaze. When you do it, right, more foggy. And when you do this one, it's more solid. Right. So why they are a line like that? They all pretty much is like the sharpness. Right. The texture, when you see that, is only the small portion. Right. It pop up. But when you do clarity, right? If you do this, you see that it changed the color also, even the sharpness and then the color. Right. It was totally crazy. But with the texture, it just to stop that not enough. It will push up But here, you push up almost a lot. And when it dehaze, I want to push up everything. So that's why it depends on what you use. Sometimes we use but stuff in the beginning, you can use the lighter one. Right? And then, but for this one, I just pretty much just like pop a little bit. Right? This is the way that I show you what this feature for, but a lot of time don't overuse it. If it's a photo is good, don't, try to every photo you just like push a lot of stuff, whatever, right? So this is texture, clarity, and dehaze. The next thing is the vibrant and saturation. Now, if you feel that the, you see the auto, right? It's a little bit more warm in color, but I think this is pretty much when actually at that time is about like sunset. So this is pretty much the correct color. Now, when you look at this, if I want to pop up a little bit, right, I can do the vibrant. You see that? The vibrant, only the color, they're not enough, it will pop it. But for saturation, it just like push up everything. So a lot of time we use vibrant and very rare I use saturation. Now we can use HSL. Now we can really trick. Now you feel that the sky, I can use the, before we just like deduct, right? How about if I want to push more? Yeah, no, because the sky is not really that blue, right? You can see only a little bit in here. That's how you can do it. But I can change the brightness. See, I can change the brightness of the blue. I can change the brightness of the yellow. Right. I make it pop. Right. This is change the color of that. I can become like on the right, yellowish. Right. So this is HSL. But you can read over here. I haven't really used H because most of the time it's saturation and luminous. So this is pretty much most of the photo. That's what I'm doing. It's just like the color and brightness and pretty much done. Right, a little bit of that. So let's see what we covered so far. We have white balance, screen large group edit, export brush, explain it. Now, I think I mentioned to you more about the panorama. Right. So now if I this photo, I just select it when I photo shoot that time is like this. So I just right mouse, photo merge, panorama. When you hit it, it will connect the photo together. So make sure you have an auto crop, auto setting. It's very cool. You see that? It will connect. And then when you hit merge, it will create a photo. No, it should be this one. It will create this photo. This one will be connected all together. Right. This is, you select all the photo, right mouse, and then photo merge, panorama. Right. Now, if you do do the stacking like this photo is this like this photo, right? Actually is because of the different brightness is this photo plus this one, put this one and put this one. Why we have that? Because if you take one photo like this one, now this is bright enough, but this is like over. But if this is color is correct, this is too dark. So that means we have to like stacking XDR, right mouse it, photo merge, XDR, and then also auto alignment, auto setting. See, it will create, when you hit merge, it will create a photo. It will create this photo. So now, the same thing, when I do it, I can do it. Let me see if I reset it. Right, you see that? It's too dark. So I just use auto and try to bring up brightness. See, now this is the photo merge in HDR. The thing is, we talk about cropping. Now, crop, when you do the crop, you can make sure you always lock this. And then you can do different size. Right? And as I mentioned, try to lock it and make every photo the same. Don't, this photo like this, and then the other photo like this, and then the other photo will be like that, and then all different size. But make sure you just lock it, and then try to make it like the same, right? So, and then crop is pretty straightforward, and then do I have it? I don't think I have any that out of control. Do I have any? Yeah, let me see. Crop. Okay. I have crop. Now, when a crop is, you can see that when I reset this one. Now, when you reset, it's not really, so I can crop it. When I crop it, you can see that it's not in straight line, right? You don't know ways. You can use a level and draw a line. All right, this is the right. So you can do this like this. Crop. Simple enough. Just make sure you lock it. So make sure you lock this, and then you just like rotate it, whatever. Simple enough. I think the only thing that I haven't really mentioned to you folks, and that will be this one, will be like a reset. Right. This is the one that I haven't mentioned about, how we can make it like straight, make it like straight like this. Right. And then that will be next week. I can show you all the way it's called transform. Right, when you transform, one thing you can do auto. They can do that picture constraint, they can auto, or you can use this new feature called a line setting. Right, you can use this line. See that? All right, this is my right hand side. This is my left hand side, and this is my bottom line. Right, we draw the line and I crop it. See that? It will straightly align it for you. Right. We will talk about it next week, next class. So this is pretty much like crop. When I do crop, I can do that. Oh, I can do crop. Okay, whatever, something like that. Okay. So this is crop. And what else? I think we talk about, let me go to one. It says spot removal. This is also pretty good. Now we talk about noise. Now, when you look at it, when you do it at 400%, You see that this is noise. Now somebody asked me about the noise and shock, whatever. Right? So now we learn about this all the way down. We have noise and then sharpening. Right? If we just reset everything, it will just like this. So now when you do the noise reduction, hold the Alt or Option key in photo, the Alt and PC and Option. When you do the sliding, you see that now if I do 100%, see how smooth it is? And it's, see how noisy it is? Let me do a little bit more. Let me do like 800%. If I do 100%, it just lets you soft, right? So now you just hold the Alt Option key beyond black and white. You just try to move it until the spot. You're pretty much like, I would just say, about like 50, maybe 60%. If you're too much, it would just like too soft. If you're not enough, you're still too grainy. So you just like, up to a certain point, you just like, yeah, it's about right, like a sweet point. And then the detail, the same thing. You see that it's like more soft and it's more solid. You just like up to like certain point, you just feel that. Now the contrast is the same thing. If you do that, it would just, the grain would be pop up. And then we just do a little bit. Now, besides that, now I can show you, you see all this crazy spot. This is called color noise. Before they were called a black and white noise. So now you just slide it. You see that? It disappeared. So this is how you denoise. Right? But of course, you said, still not good, but pay attention. You are increased to 800%. Right? So now back to the sharpness. You see that when you just remove the noise, the sharpness is not that sharp. So you can do the same thing, hold the Alt Option key and then push. Now you see that when you too much, the noise come back again. If it's not enough, it's just like bury. Again, you just try to push at a certain point. You just feel that it's about right. So that is, and then now the masking. What do you mean by masking? Now, if you do this all the way to there, you see the series line in here, right? You see that? Basically, they just said that you just only sharp the edge. But in here, you do that, it pretty much you sharp everything. So the noise come back again. And then, but you said, oh, I only sharp the outline. So the masking, a lot of the time I just throw in 100%, it's sharp. So when you go back, right, space, you can see that it's because a little bit different because of the, see that? But now if you do like 800%, right? No, now only 400%. So see that is pretty sharp. Right? So that's the way to do a sharpening and everything. Now the next thing we learn about, I think it's still a little bit, seems like a little bit crooked. Right. Let me see. Do that. And lock it again. Just level. Yeah, it's just open. Now it's just pretty much okay. Now the next thing we learn is a spot removal tool. You see that? This is the dirty on my lens. Right. But how many? Whatever. You can't really see. Now just like when it's spot removal and then visualize spot, when I click this, it will show only where's the dirty spot. And then you can just go all the way, you show more, and then you show less. Depends on that. Now, if I do like 100%, you can see that this is the dirty spot. You just make the size, and then you click. It will automatically select something that close to it to patch that. Now, if I this one, I just I can just draw it instead of and click. Right. And this is the dirt. This one. And this one. Probably you can tell, but you know where this visualize spot, you can really tell. After you do that, done, boom, done. Now you can say the before, after. Look at that. Before, after. But visualize. What else do we cover? Oh, I think we just like group editing. Noise cropping, group editing. No, if it's maybe this one. You think this one? I said, all right, this one is good enough. When you just go to the next one, hit previous, boom. Just copy what you have from before. And then go to this one, get use previous. Right. See that it will just copy everything from the previous one. Now if I reset it. Now if I have this one, I just like, okay, I think I'm good on that. You don't need to be in order. You can jump to this one. Jump to this one. I just hit previous. Boom. Okay, it popped up. So now if you want to, let's see, I reset it. Now, all this photo, they're pretty much the same, right? Same situation, right? The reason I'm talking because I don't want to get rid of the car. Now you can do what is the group editing with when you select all this. Once you have auto sync is you work editing at the same time. So when you hit auto, the brightness, you see that they all change. So you just say, all right, let me see the white balance auto. Okay. So now you can just, all right, bring out a little bit. Now, because this one lost the detail, you can just highlight and then bring out the shadow. So bring me this, bring out, right? And the black. Now you can use the haze when you do the haze to go to the right. You will make it more solid. All right. I'll put the texture. I'm no courage when you do that. Will be just like, oh, but the sky is good, but the building looks terrible. So you just like, now here's the one that you can use XSL. If I do the blue, let me like, you see that? I can make it more pop up and then make it more bluish, right? Or even this one, I can make it more red, more brightish. Now this is a picker, right? An alien picker. Now you want to see, all right, I want to brighten up this one. I don't know what color is that. You can just click on the luminous, right? Well, actually it's the same as the red. You cannot. So how about the green? You see that? It just tell you what color it is. You can make the brightness of that. Now the same, you can give your saturation. All right, I mean greenish, whatever. You can just, this is the picker. So this is the way you can auto sync, auto photo, which change at the same time. So when I reset it. So what happened if I don't want to do it. I just want to just work on this photo. Now, if this photo is the one that I really like, I can select all the photo. Now make sure you copy from this and you change to sync. And then you just copy whatever you want. And then when you sync, you see that it copy everything over. That is the group editing. I think, oh, last one. Let's say I would just, this is the one that I haven't talked to you about that. If I, let's see, curves, you haven't really learned about this. Yeah, and then denoise. Now the last thing we could talk about is export. File, export. Now you just need to know where you put it. File size, 2005. That's why if you want to increase it, you can do that. Now, recently, I think we talk about if you want to submit to BCPA the photo. Now you can do it. There are 4,000, right? 2,000, 6,000. That's how you change the length of the photo. You can do it, but overall, I don't change it because what happens if you change the size of the photo, the quality of your photo change. But normally, I just compress it. So now just make sure you select it and watermark. Did I mention watermark before? I don't think I mentioned watermark.
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe I just do a quick review. Let you know now if the watermark, let's say they have a default. Right? Once you have something like if I just have this one, I just like once I have the default, you can just go all the way down to gonna edit watermark. It will come up this thing. So just type in whatever you want. And then here's what it is. Right. And then will be all different feature like the opacity, how bright, not the opacity, is how solid you want it. You see the bottom, how solid you want it, and then the ratio and all kind of stuff. Let me talk about it next time. Right? After you do that, and I'm not doing the user. Where's that? Because I have so many. Once you enter, you just hit export, and then the photo will come up. Big attention, 6590. That's the size of the photo. That's so slow. 6590 4393. You see that? That's the same size of the original photo. That means the quality didn't change. So this is how we export. And then I guess that's pretty much like cover overall. And then I think left behind will be like red eyes, so not really much. And this is the 2022 Adobe just combined editing, combine the brush linear gratitude and also the luminance range. He combined editing together in one still-got adjustment layer, right? And this is a little bit mixed feature with Photoshop, like select subject, select sky, and then they also become like Photoshop in layer format. And this one, I think we'll be spend at least a couple class to explain this. I think this is the little bit more powerful and also a little bit more complicated, section. And then curve, I haven't mentioned to that. And then this one, very rarely use it. I try to not, explain to that. And then this one, I don't bother with is chromatic correction and all kind of stuff in the profile of this thing. I think most of the you know, pay attention. And then this one will be the transform. We will do it. The effect, we talk about a little later. This one, really rare you use it. And also the preset. And then we'll be finished. You guys will all know Lightroom pretty good, right? So I think that's it for now. And if you have any question, you can ask me now or maybe later if you have question, and then anytime you can ask me. So at this point, any questions?
我想问一个很快的，那些 video upload 在这个网站上会一直保持在那儿吧？就是说 one day if I want to go back to review, you know, to check on something, is it are they going to take it off, remove the video that is uploaded, or it's going to be staying there
对，一
forever?
直会在那儿的。
好，谢谢。
If there's no more questions, I think we can stop recording. Anything that you like to look at it? Question? Oh, this let me see what I have in here. And then reset. Oh no. Oh, because I have it. So now another thing, I think because down the road there is something, and if you want to go to Photoshop, like that's why I always like in here. And you can see this is the photo that you see the bird is so small. You know that it is. If I crop it, you see that from 6,000 something, I cut down to 1,700. And you can see that the quality of the bird, you see that how grainy, and it's, you know, you cannot, you know, make it like too good. Now it's 800, you know, %. So now the another thing, you know, you can do, and when you do Photoshop, you can right mouse, add in Photoshop. You can see that a lot of probably you heard about AL denoise, right? This is what we call the plugin. And then it's a little bit more complicated, and then you have to set it up. You see that I have Portrait Pro. I do the portrait. This is all we call a plugin, but you automatically you will Photoshop plugin. When you do this, you just right mouse it, and then it will just directly send you to Photoshop. You can do the editing. Now pay attention, and then, you know, mine is like 1,400, 1,746. And then I have something called the action. I can portrait 4,000. Boom. I can make the now when I hit return, I just hit save. And then we say back to this. See that? Originally, the photo is 1,746. Now my photo become 4,000 by 2006. Now it's a much larger size. I increased it. That's how you enlarge your photo. And then I can do right mouse, photo edit, and no edit in, topaz denoise. I just added a copy. That's some of the things maybe can down the road in the future, you can do that when you purchase on it. This is automatic, or they call it plugin. It will always go to denoise. See the difference? That's how, you know, crazy they topaz denoise. Right? This is without, let me enlarge it. Right, without the noise, with the noise, You see that is that big of the photo. And then when you hit return, it will just save back in. It will save back in Lightroom. It will save back in Lightroom. So that is what they call a plugin. I'm not sure whether I'm going to mention that down the road or not because it's more complicated. So maybe in the future. All right. Anything else you want to know? Something, whatever.
我还有一个 quick question， 老师不好意思，就是刚才你在讲那个删除照片的时候啊，就是 delete 这个 photo， 然后你 mention so right click mouse and then the picture will be saved and I see it appears on the left upper corner. What is the purpose of that right click mouse of saving the picture to the corner? What is the purpose of that?
Saving the picture.
Yeah,
Which
well,
one?
you have a right click of the mouse and you clicked something. I missed that part. I don't know what is the purpose of that.
Say it again. What is what picture?
Remember when you say you can delete the picture forever from the whatever the software.
Yeah, okay.
And when you
Now,
mentioned that, you right click. I missed that part.
No, I haven't really regular. Let me repeat. Now, when you say, oh, I also mentioned something like that where is grading. Let me go to, you can see this, all this my photo, right? How come some is a lighter color, some of the darker color? You know, that is the one I think I'm going to mention. When I review my photo, right, and all this, I use the arrow key left and right, right? If I say this is nothing, I just X delete it, right? And then I move to the next one. And this one is nothing. I just remove it. And then this one, if I like it, I can just P for pick it or whatever. I just give it color. This is what I'm going to send out. And this one is no good, no good, no good, no good. And then, you know, whatever, I just want to delete it. So now I can see that when I sort it out, you say now, if I want to delete this stuff, right? It will show me all the photo. Then I need to delete 29 of them. Command and Control A, we will select all the photo. And I hit delete key. I delete from the disk. So that means it's gone forever, right? Once I hit delete, nothing. You see that? The file become like only this is the only thing left. And after that, if I don't have any photo, if I become like zero, anything that I have, if I have editing really come down to zero, that means nothing. I just right mouse it and remove the folder.
Okay, right mouse remove.
That is right mouse. I remove the folder. If I have something that, let me see. Let's say if I put the bird in here, all right. I just like, now this folder is nothing. So I don't want to go, I can go right mouse and then, you know, show it in the Finder where it is, but I can just right mouse it and remove it, right? And then it will be like 100% gone. And let me see if I do this, right? I right mouse it, I show it in Finder, right? Now you can see that this one, what is that? This one's 701. 701. Huh? Oh, because this is photo 701, the bird. And then too bad because I have 2701 in here. So now I can, you know, just right mouse it and then remove it. So that means, you know, this folder will be eliminated from my folder. 01 bird, right? But this one is not. So sorry, just picked the wrong example. So right mouse is only if there's nothing there, you remove it. What else? If it's nothing, I think can call for the day.
Have a good evening.
All right. Okay. Bye, everyone.
谢谢老师。
谢谢老师，谢谢。
Yeah.